What I'm about to tell you might completely change how you interpret every interaction you have with women from now on. Right now, as you're watching this, there's probably a woman in your life who has developed serious feelings for you, but she's keeping them completely secret from everyone, including her closest friends. I'm not talking about casual attraction or mild interest. I'm talking about the kind of deep, consuming crush that keeps her up at night thinking about you, that makes her heart race when she sees your name pop up on her phone, that has her creating elaborate fantasies about what a relationship with you would be like. But here's the thing that's going to shock you. She's not just hiding these feelings from you. She's hiding them from everyone. Her best friends don't know. Her family doesn't know. Her coworkers don't know. This isn't the kind of crush she's talking about or asking for advice about. This is her deepest secret. And the reason she's keeping it so hidden? You're not just any guy to her. You've become someone so important, so special, that the thought of anyone else knowing how she feels is terrifying. Because if people knew how much she thinks about you, how much she's analyzed every conversation you've had, how many scenarios she's imagined in her head, they'd realize just how deep her feelings go. The question is, are you completely oblivious to what's happening right in front of you? See, when a woman has this level of feelings for someone, she doesn't act like she does with regular crushes. She can't afford to be obvious because the stakes are too high. Instead, she develops a completely different set of behaviors, subtle signs that most men miss entirely because they're not looking for them. So let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself as I go through these 5 signs. How many of these sound familiar? Because if even 2 or 3 of these resonate, there's a woman in your life right now who's desperately hoping you'll notice her while simultaneously terrified that you will. Sign 1. She treats you differently than everyone else, but not in the way you'd expect. Here's where most guys get confused. When a woman has a secret crush on you, the kind she's not telling anyone about, she doesn't act more flirty or obvious around you. In fact, she often does the exact opposite. She becomes more reserved, more careful, more controlled in her interactions with you. While she's laughing and joking easily with everyone else, she seems slightly more serious or thoughtful when talking to you. You might think she doesn't like you or finds you boring, but what's really happening is that you matter too much for her to risk saying the wrong thing. Every interaction with you feels high stakes to her, so she's being extra careful about how she comes across. Here's the psychology behind this. When someone becomes emotionally significant to us, we become more self-conscious around them. She's not being reserved because she's uninterested. She's being reserved because she's incredibly interested and doesn't trust herself to act normal around you. But there are subtle ways she treats you differently that reveal her true feelings. She remembers everything you tell her, not just the big things, but tiny details you mentioned in passing weeks ago. She asks more thoughtful questions than she asks other people. Her body language is more attentive when you're speaking, even if she's trying to play it cool. You might notice that she seems to take your opinions more seriously than others. When you suggest something or share a viewpoint, she actually considers it deeply rather than just nodding along. This is because your thoughts and perspectives have weight with her in a way that other people's don't. The key difference is consistency. With her regular friends, her mood and energy might fluctuate depending on her day. But with you, she's always on, always presenting her best self, always engaged, always careful to be interesting and worthwhile. This level of consistent effort is exhausting, which is why she might seem slightly more tired or drained after spending time around you. Pay attention to this pattern. Is there a woman who seems to bring her A game to every interaction with you? Who treats conversations with you like they're important in a way that casual conversations aren't? That's not just friendliness, that's someone who's emotionally invested in how you see her. Sign 2. She creates private moments and inside jokes that only you two share. When a woman has secret feelings for you, she instinctively tries to create a special connection that exists just between the two of you. She's not doing this consciously. It's her heart's way of trying to build intimacy without revealing her feelings. She'll reference conversations you had weeks ago that no one else was part of. She'll bring up funny things that happened when it was just you two. She'll send you memes or articles that relate to something you discussed privately. She's building a shared history that belongs only to you and her. But here's the deeper psychology. She's creating these private moments because they make her feel closer to you without the vulnerability of actually confessing her feelings. Each inside joke, each private reference, each shared memory makes her feel like you two have something special, even if you don't realize it. She might text you about random things that remind her of you, a song, a movie, something she saw that made her think of a story you told. To you, these might seem like casual, friendly messages. To her, they're ways of staying connected to you and keeping herself in your thoughts. Watch for this pattern. Does she often say things like, remember when we? Or, that reminds me of what you said about? Or, you'll think this is funny because of that thing we talked about? She's referencing a catalog of shared experiences that she's been carefully collecting and treasuring. She might also create opportunities for these private moments. She'll hang back after group events hoping to walk with you alone. She'll arrive early to things knowing you're usually early too. She'll find reasons to message you separately instead of posting in the group chat. Each of these moments feels precious to her because it's just you and her, no audience, no performance. The telling sign is that she treats these moments and memories like they're significant. While you might have forgotten about a random conversation you had 3 weeks ago, she brings it up like it was meaningful. That's because to her, every interaction with you is meaningful. She's just not allowed to tell anyone why. Sign 3. She becomes protective of you in subtle ways. This one's huge and most men never notice it happening. When a woman has deep, secret feelings for you, she develops a protective instinct that she tries to hide from everyone, including you. She might casually defend you when people make jokes at your expense, even small ones. If someone criticizes you or questions something you did, she finds herself making excuses for you or explaining your perspective before she even realizes she's doing it. But it goes deeper than just verbal defense. She becomes attuned to anything that might affect you negatively. If she hears that you're stressed about work, she might casually suggest solutions or offer help. If she knows you're going through something difficult, she finds ways to check on you without making it obvious. Here's what's really happening psychologically. You've become emotionally precious to her, so she has an almost maternal instinct to protect you from harm or negativity. She can't stand the thought of people treating you badly or you being hurt, even in small ways. She might warn you about people she thinks aren't good for you, but she does it subtly. Instead of directly saying, I don't like her, she might mention that she heard something concerning about someone you're dating or thinking about dating. She's trying to protect you without revealing why she cares so much. You might notice that she seems to have strong opinions about people in your life, especially other women. If you mention dating someone or being interested in someone, she might seem less enthusiastic than your other friends, or she might ask more probing questions about this person. She's not trying to be jealous, she's trying to make sure no one takes advantage of you or treats you poorly. The protective instinct also shows up in smaller ways. She remembers when you have important meetings or events and checks in about how they went. She notices when you seem tired or stressed and tries to make things easier for you without drawing attention to it. She might bring you coffee when you're having a rough day or remember that you don't like certain foods when ordering for a group. This level of attentiveness and care goes way beyond normal friendship. She's protecting and nurturing you because you've become precious to her, but she can't let anyone else know why she's so invested in your well-being. Sign 4, she's unusually interested in your dating life, but tries to hide it. Here's where it gets really telling. A woman with secret feelings for you will be intensely curious about your romantic life, but she has to be incredibly careful about how she shows this interest because revealing too much curiosity would give away her feelings. She might ask casual questions about your dating life, but pay close attention to how she asks and how she reacts to your answers. She's trying to gather information while appearing only mildly interested, like any friend would be. But there are subtle signs that her interest goes deeper. She remembers details about people you've mentioned dating or being interested in. She asks follow-up questions in later conversations about how things are going with someone you mentioned. Here's the psychology behind this. She needs to know where she stands even though she can't directly ask. Every piece of information about your romantic life helps her understand whether she has any chance with you, whether you're the type of person who would be interested in someone like her, what kind of women you're attracted to. She might try to subtly gauge your relationship status without directly asking. Instead of saying, "Are you seeing anyone?" She might ask about your weekend plans, mention events you could bring a date to, or reference your social media posts in ways that would reveal if you're dating someone. Watch for how she reacts when you mention other women. She might get slightly quieter, ask fewer questions, or change the subject more quickly than she does with other topics. Or she might do the opposite. Ask lots of detailed questions while trying to seem casually interested. She's also probably analyzing everything you say about relationships and dating for clues about what you want in a partner. If you mention liking women who are funny, she might start trying to be funnier around you. If you say you prefer someone who shares your interests, she might suddenly develop interest in your hobbies. But here's the really telling sign. She gives you dating advice that seems designed to help you find someone exactly like her. She might suggest that you need someone who really understands you, someone who appreciates your sense of humor, someone who shares your values, all while describing herself without realizing it. The most obvious giveaway is if she seems relieved when your dates don't work out or when you mention being single. She tries to hide it, but there's a part of her that lights up when she realizes you're available, even though she's simultaneously disappointed that she's still not brave enough to tell you how she feels. Sign 5. She pays attention to your smallest details and remembers everything. This is the biggest tell of all, and it's happening at a level that most men completely miss. When a woman has secret feelings for you, she becomes unconsciously obsessed with understanding you completely. She studies you like she's preparing for a test on who you are as a person. She notices things about you that even your close friends don't pick up on. She can tell when you're having a bad day before you've said anything about it. She remembers your coffee order, your favorite foods, the stories you've told about your childhood, your goals and dreams, your fears and insecurities. But it goes way beyond just remembering facts about you. She notices patterns in your behavior, your moods, your preferences. Here's what's happening psychologically. When we have deep feelings for someone, our brain categorizes everything about them as important information. She's not trying to memorize details about you. Her mind is automatically filing away everything you say and do because you've become significant to her. She might bring up things you mentioned months ago that you've completely forgotten about. She remembers your work deadlines, your family situations, your health issues. But the really telling sign is that she notices changes in you that others miss. If you get a haircut, change your style, seem stressed, seem excited about something, she picks up on these shifts immediately. She might also remember details about your preferences and use that information later. If you mentioned once that you love a particular type of music, she might recommend concerts or share songs. If you said you were interested in learning something new, she might send you articles or resources about it weeks later. The most revealing aspect of this is that she remembers emotional details, not just factual ones. She remembers how you felt about certain experiences, what made you laugh, what stressed you out, what you were excited about. She's building a complete emotional profile of who you are. Pay attention to this. Is there a woman in your life who seems to know you better than you know yourself sometimes? Who remembers things about you that surprise you? Who notices changes in your mood or behavior before anyone else does? That level of attention and care doesn't come from casual friendship. It comes from someone who's emotionally invested in you in a way she can't reveal. The psychology behind hidden crushes. Why she's keeping it secret. Now that we've covered the signs, let me explain why some women keep their feelings so deeply hidden, and why you might be completely missing these signals. First, understand that not all crushes are created equal. The woman who's hiding her feelings from everyone isn't just attracted to you. You've become emotionally significant to her in a way that feels overwhelming and vulnerable. The depth of her feelings scares her because she has so much to lose if things go wrong. She's keeping it secret because revealing these feelings would change everything. Your friendship, your dynamic, the way other people see both of you. everything would shift. She's convinced that her feelings are so intense and obvious that if she gave people any clue, everyone would be able to see right through her. There's also often a fear that you're out of her league. The men who inspire these kinds of secret crushes usually possess qualities that make women think they probably have lots of options. She assumes you're either taken or wouldn't be interested in someone like her, so she convinces herself that keeping her feelings hidden is the only way to maintain any connection with you at all. Here's another key factor. She might be in a situation where pursuing you feels impossible or inappropriate. Maybe you work together, maybe you're in the same friend group, maybe the timing isn't right. She's developed feelings despite the circumstances, and now she's trapped between wanting you and knowing she can't have you. The secrecy also protects her from judgment. If her friends knew how much she thinks about you, how much she analyzes every interaction, how many scenarios she's created in her head, they might think she's obsessed or pathetic. By keeping it completely to herself, she can maintain her dignity while still experiencing these intense feelings. But here's the most important thing to understand. These hidden crushes often involve women who are normally confident and direct in other areas of their lives. The fact that she's being so secretive and careful isn't a reflection of her personality, and it's a reflection of how much you mean to her. What this means for you and what you should do. If you're recognizing these signs in someone in your life, first understand what a unique situation this is. Most crushes are either obvious or casual. Having someone develop deep, secret feelings for you means you've made a significant emotional impact on someone who's probably selective about who they let affect them this way, but being someone's secret crush puts you in a position of responsibility. This woman has made herself emotionally vulnerable to you without you even knowing it. She's investing emotional energy in you, caring about your well-being, and probably experiencing some level of emotional pain from keeping her feelings hidden. If you're interested in her too, you need to understand that she's not going to make the first move. The very qualities that made her develop such deep feelings, your attractiveness, your desirability, your seemingly having options, are the same qualities that make her assume she doesn't have a chance with you. You're going to have to pay attention to these subtle signs and then be the one to create opportunities for something to develop. Start spending more time with her one-on-one. Be more intentional about your interactions. Give her signals that you see her as more than just a friend. But be gentle and gradual about it. Someone who's been hiding feelings this deep will be terrified of the vulnerability that comes with revealing them. She needs to feel safe and sure that her feelings are reciprocated before she'll let her guard down. If you're not interested in her romantically, you need to be aware of the dynamic and be extra careful not to lead her on. Those protective instincts she has toward you, those private moments she creates, that attention she pays to your dating life, all of that is coming from a place of hope that something might develop between you. The kindest thing you can do is be clear about your boundaries without making her feel embarrassed about her feelings. Don't suddenly change how you interact with her, but don't give her false hope either. Here's the most important takeaway. The woman who develops this kind of secret crush on you isn't just attracted to you. She sees relationship potential. She's not fantasizing about a fling or casual dating. She's imagining a real, meaningful connection because something about who you are as a person has convinced her that you could be something together. That's not just attractive. That's the foundation for the kind of relationship that actually lasts. The woman who's been secretly studying your character, who's been protective of you, who's been creating intimacy through shared moments and inside jokes. She's not just crushing on you. She's falling for you in a way that most people never experience. The question is, are you going to notice what's happening and decide what you want to do about it? Or are you going to let this rare kind of connection slip by because you weren't paying attention to the signs? Remember, somewhere right now there might be a woman thinking about you, hoping you'll notice her, wondering if she'll ever have the courage to let you know how she feels. But until you start recognizing these subtle signs and responding to them, she's going to keep her feelings locked away, and you might miss out on something incredible that's happening right in front of you.